Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 209. When will the rain end? And the reason I'm saying that is because there's not been a week since I've moved over here that we have not had some rain. In fact, Donna and I were out there eating lunch today outside of Panda Express and enjoying a nice little lunch when it decided, hey, let's rain. We got in just inside before it literally opened up. Um, and then, 10 minutes later, done. By the time I got back to work, sunshine. It was crazy. It was crazy. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad y'all are all here. We got Reese with us this week. Reese, how you doing, sir?
Hanging in there.
Yeah,
Hadn't
yeah.
let go yet.
Well, that's a good thing. Both of us are in the process of packing our own things. Um, Me in Illinois to get over to Missouri, and Reese in Arkansas to go to Arkansas. so um, we had Chris Long come in early, said hey ho all, and then Bunkhouse Dougie says evening everyone. Uh, Nordic Maelstrom is here. How you doing, Nord? He says hello, hello. Charles here. Evening. Telemachus always with good words. You might be a gamer if you ask for initiative before opening a door. True that. Um, and then Nord says Chuck, things are not looking good for Boney. Uh, Bulow's Fourth Prussian Corps is moving into position to hammer the French right flank, and Purchase Second Corps is moving to come down the right of Bulow. There you go. And Chuck can't use his new earbuds with his laptop. I'm in agreement with Nord. That sucks. Um, so, Charles, what you can do, they do make a USB-C to uh, eighth inch uh, eighth inch connectors. You can get them for about $10 at Walmart. So yeah, USB-C to eighth inch audio jack should do the trick for you, bud. Well, it stopped earlier here, Chris. It stormed pretty good for an hour or so. Yeah, it's been a really wet month this June, even down in Texas where Dad lives. Um, Lake Travis rose 4 feet in about a week. Canyon went up about a foot in a week, and downstream from Canyon Lake, in New Braunfels, the Comal River flooded so badly that they had to down all of the tubing. So that was pretty drastic. Have you ever seen the rain? Yeah, apparently every damn day.
Been out in it.
Telemachus. Yeah. Sunny and 81 in beautiful San Diego. Uh, Nord says, Reese, of all the places you could move, you choose the same state. You're doing this wrong.
I've been all over. This is home.
Hey, you know what? Home is home. I'm lucky enough I can claim two homes. Um, I've got Texas and I've got Kansas City. So I got that going for me, which is
Well,
nice.
North Central Arkansas and Tulsa for me, and I'm smack dab between them.
There
So,
you go. There you go. Nord says I'm playing Waterloo from the Library of Napoleonic Battles. If you're curious. Oh, okay. Very good. You know what? I still don't know a whole lot about Waterloo, other than that's the name that the city of Austin was originally known as before it became the capital of Texas, and that's why you've got Waterloo Records in. Austin, Texas. Laptop old no C. Right, Charles. All you need to do is, like I said, get that USB-C to audio jack uh, cable dongle, plug it into your computer, plug that in, plug your earbuds into that. Boom, done. Bob's your uncle. $10, can't beat it. Might even get it cheaper at on Amazon. Uh, don't you dare complain about the rain. 116 here tomorrow. Oof. No, I'm not complaining about the rain. I'm just saying we've had a lot. Um,
I'll
and
complain.
Dad commented, he's not in a drought. They're just between floods. Uh, I've been everywhere, man. Crossed the deserts bare, man. I've been everywhere. Yep, there you go. Uh, Nord says you can keep that nonsense mutt. Absolutely. Uh, it says I've been gone too long from Illinois. I'm just a crud resident of Cali. Well, I mean, depending on where you are from Illinois, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I'm just saying. So, but over on the Facebooks, I know Reese hadn't seen this because he doesn't do the Facebooks. He's probably the smartest of all of us here. But Wiley Games has made the announcement that they will be uh, at Tacticon this year, both as a vendor and as a game runner. So you got that going for you. And he's planning on running games all day Saturday. I'm not sure if he's going to do Friday also, but he's definitely doing all day Saturday. And I'm going to be there with Fist or with Fistful of Flood Galactic Heroes Star Wars Battle of Endor because it's all done. I don't have to do anything extra for it. And I know where everything is for it right now. So I can keep it separated from all the other stuff that's getting moved. Uh, so that's what I've got going for me, or what I've got going. I don't know how many sessions I'm going to run just yet. I got to see how much uh, the the badge is to get into. Yeah, excuse me. How much it costs to get into the convention, and then see how much running a scenario or a session is going to deduct from that cost. So, Battle of Indust, the fight against Matt finishes. There you go. Yeah. Scala Gremlin is in the house. How you doing, Scala? Glad you could make it. Nord, yeah, you can play Han Solo. I got three Rebel teams. The first one is run by Han and Chewie, with three additional Rebel troopers. I've got a Leia with four additional Rebel troopers, and all of those four are all um, um, aliens, non-humans. And then I've got the last Rebel group. That one is being led by Captain Rex. So, and then four additional Rebel commanders. Um, Nord says Han and Chewie are my favorite characters from the movies and the expanded universe. Add in Lando as well. Yeah, I've been, I have thought about doing uh, a Cloud City game. Um, what I've thought about doing with that is um, kind of a race type of a situation where you've got uh, Chewbacca, Luke and Leia and Lando are kind of lead. It's going to be not exactly quote unquote canon. It's not going to be movie accurate because the four of them are going to be all doing something different. So you're going to have Chewie chasing down the Ugnaughts to get C-3PO back. You're going to have uh, Lando um, probably probably have him leading a team to get to the Millennium Falcon. You're going to have Leia leading a team uh, going after Boba Fett to get Luke or to get Han back, and then you're going to have Luke leading a team that is going to go up against Vader. So, and then you'll have Imperial. You'll have Boba Fett and a team of stormtroopers. You'll have Darth Vader and a team of stormtroopers. You'll have the Ugnaughts, and then another set of stormtroopers. So, I have not read. I have not read any of the old uh, expanded universe stuff.
Some of them are
Um,
pretty good.
oh, I know. I'm not, and I'm not detracting from them in general, but for whatever reason, I never, never wanted to read anything that wasn't the movies. You know, um, I loved reading. I did a lot of reading when I was a kid. Uh, so, but I never wanted to step outside of what was, you know, Lucas canon. When he came out and said nothing that's not in the movies is canon, I was like, well, then I don't need to read it. Thanks. So,
If I do make it to Tacticon, which is a very slim chance, and I
mm-hmm.
do run something, it will either be my sneaky SOG game, or it will be air combat over Lebanon.
There you go. There you go.
Uh,
Well, if you do make it, it should be fun. Stop flicking my computer, dog. Ladies and gentlemen, my new buddy, Hiccup. His name is Hiccup Jones. He looks like a Hiccup Jones.
and along came Jones.
Uh huh. Your that nose is going to get you in trouble. So
I
is
know
that
I'm too
tongue.
young to get that reference, but I.
You're only too young by body, not by spirit.
Oh yeah.
Any Rev Wing plant people, and they are force ugh, they're force sensitive. Oh,
That seemed force sensitive.
what's that?
That seemed force sensitive.
Yeah, that was definitely force sensitive. Um, oh, Scala says hi, Hiccup. He's the bestest stream co-host.
Been outranked by a
Jeffy,
dog.
Jeffy's in the house. Gentlemen, no, no, no. You're not a co-host. You're a host.
Eh,
He's a guest star.
there you are.
Hiccup Jones. Uh, so the reason I'm talking about Tacticon and Fistful of Lead is, as we all know, you can head on over to wiley-games.com and get your own copy of Fistful of Lead of whichever version you want. No current sales are happening. However, Uh, you can enter the coupon code NOTJ, NOTJAY, all capital letters, and get 20% off. Or you can enter R Crawford
24, I think.
24.
I
It's either
think.
R Crawford 24 or R Crawford 2024. I can't remember which is which. Either way, that should give you a 20% discount uh, on everything that's not already on sale. I don't know if it gives a discount on the bundle pricing, like when you buy the book and a and the cards together. I don't know if you get a discount on that because that is technically discounted already. So
I will
you know,
check that for you real quick.
okay, there you go. Uh, yeah, Scala says Reese is an also starring. Hiccup is a guest starring.
There you go.
So
So I'm
like,
Don Knotts.
yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, with your one bullet,
Don't tempt me.
right? More mutts back in the house saying hi to everybody. Uh, Charles says family says I should not get another dog. I mean, that's the type of negativity nobody wants. Um, do, 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 do. So Charles has put away GWACW and is going to look at GCACW tomorrow. So hi, sir. You're a good boy. Um, now, heathen. Um, have you been working on any gaming stuff, any modeling, anything of that nature?
Barely. I've been working on some of my 172 Vietnam guys just to do something. Working on finishing a few NIDs for Tacticon. Not Tacticon.
J3.
J3.
Yep.
Brain.
Yep.
Um,
We
I don't
got that.
know.
We got that coming up in 2 weekends.
It will be, and my big bad uglies are looking good. So
Hold on. Let's. Oh yeah, they are. I definitely like those, man.
this paint scheme just fits. So
It's looking spiffy. Scala says, Charles, sounds like you need to get a new family and a new dog.
Not J does give you a discount on bundles.
It does?
It does.
Okay. There you go.
I'm still on big screen.
Not anymore.
Cool. And the bundle was already discounted, and then for some reason there was a sale on the bundle, and then I got an extra discount code. I didn't buy it, but it
Right.
works.
Yeah.
So
All right. So there you go. Um, Norix has been trying to gather up the motivation to buy some miniatures and then paint them, and I'm struggling big time with it. Well, I mean, it all depends on what do you want to paint. That's I mean, honestly, that's the first place you want to get your motivation is what you want to do first. Um, for me, if I'm wondering what I want to do, Star Wars is always an option for me. World War II ships, airplanes. So, what did you say?
I said, or you come and ask your wife, what am I going to paint
Oh
today?
yeah, yeah. I will. I will uh, go bother Donna saying, um, what am I painting? And she always has a great amount of great amount of influence with what I do because, well, sometimes I think she knows me better than I know me. Um, Nord says he wants American War of Independence, French and Indian War, Napoleonic Wars, and American Civil War. So, yeah, basically from about 1750 to 1865. Um, did you have a scale in mind? And hey, uh, Chris Long, welcome back, sir. I hope you're doing well. By the way, if y'all have not already seen it, he has created I think it's on Colts 3D, I think. Um, but he's created a, uh, a storefront. I don't know what it's called for all of his 6 millimeter uh, World War II stuff and 6 millimeter Cold War stuff. So it looks really really good. Uh, Nord says that he was thinking 10 millimeter, but the reality is I'll probably never game with him. I was also considering maybe just doing vignettes with 28 millimeter miniatures. You can't go wrong with that idea, to be honest. Doing the vignettes with the 28 millimeter miniatures, um, especially if you're just gonna look at getting a handful of miniatures. Um, oh, it's not you. Okay, it looks a lot like the stuff that you've been doing, buddy. Um, Still, whether you want to, you think it's Chris Long or not, like I did, my mistake. Um, Definitely go look at the stuff and support his friend because that stuff is amazing. It's great work. So, um, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. He says he's done them, but they're not his. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah. So if you want to support his buddy, go go check him out. And it's not badly priced. It's like 350 per download. So there you go. Nor says I got my gaming fixed with Hex and Counter games, so it would be just because I like to paint. However, getting the motivation to do that is just lacking big time. Okay, here's the deal, Nord. When I have got my little area set up down in the basement, uh, we will do a we won't do a 24-hour paint chat, but we will do an extended paint chat. Give me my shoe back. Can you get my shoe, please?
That will be the name of the extended paint chat.
Yeah,
Is give me my shoe back. And for those that know, they will know.
exactly. Exactly.
Leave shoes
Um,
alone. Leave shoes alone.
let's see here.
Leave shoes alone.
Scala Gremlin, a handful of XYZ scale minis. Since when has that ever worked out for any of us? Well, there you go.
I am still in denial that it's working out for me with 1/72 scale, so shut your mouth.
There you go. Uh, he said he's found 5 Fallout Wasteland Warfare miniatures. He just can't get motivated to paint them. Um, Bunkhouse says he's getting some paint onto his Salamander Space Marines again, decompressing from a lot of family stuff that came up recently. Yeah, I understand this decompressing from family stuff. Absolutely, I get that. Uh, Charles says, thankfully, my last two dogs are not chewers. Well, yeah,
No.
Snippy is not. isn't much of a chew eating dog except for chewing on her own toys. Um, Hiccup and Boomer, apparently, they're at that age of, hey, it fits in my mouth. I'm going to do this to it.
I've got a horse that's about that stage right now.
I don't know which would be worse, dog bite or a horse bite.
Horse bite.
Yeah.
I've been bit by both. Horse bite.
I mean, dog bites hurt because puncture.
There's a difference between a horse
Horse.
nibble and a horse bite.
Oh yeah.
And when
Oh
they
yeah.
bite and detach muscles,
Uh huh.
yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to derail us.
No, that's fine. No, I'm right there with you. I have been. I moved fast enough not to get the full blown
Mm-hmm.
chomp on a horse, but I did. I did get. It did get a little close to getting a hold of my rumpus.
They will do that faster than you can say it. They will do that.
So, uh, Scalagram one says 2,000 pounds of fear and neurosis. The only thing that would make a horse worse is if they were carnivores. Um, I guess you've never seen horses eat mice.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing about too.
And all I got to do is thank God chickens aren't bigger than they are. Just saying.
If there was gonna be an animal to deal with, cows are not terrible. They're dumb as a box of rocks, but
Sheep are stupider.
I agree. But sheep are too dumb to work with. Cows are in that sweet spot.
Well, yeah. Um, Hold on here. I'm checking something out for Mr. Chris Long. Battle files. STL on Colts.
Anybody who's going to be at J3, are they watching the show?
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe Jay is hiding out there.
I don't intend for the people that play my game to win.
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am absolutely convinced that that's not gonna happen.
My Gene Stealers are looking amazing too. So this one's not finished yet. I want to finish painting them up. But
Like I said, what I've seen you put together so far is quite good.
are you talking games? Or you talking miniatures?
The miniatures, specifically um, your um, your gene stealers. They look really sharp. I like them a lot.
I'm looking forward to putting it all together. I am basing not the rules, of course, but the scenario a little bit like a walkthrough way,
Yeah.
but with a lot more encounter tables, or a lot more encounters, I should say, and a
Right.
lot less forgiving encounter tables. So
Yep.
bright light, bright light. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah.
It's
Bed
gonna be.
bugs are definitely the point you're working on there. All right. I have found what I was looking for. So because Chris Long couldn't add it, I went ahead and added it for you guys. Ooh, Chris Long is making Victorian sci-fi ships now for another friend of his. Outstanding.
You've got my attention.
Yeah. I'm wait until McMurray hears about this. He will be all agog, as it were. So, um, yeah, the Kansas City contingent for J3 is we are all carpooling together. So Copeland is gonna. I'm gonna drive over to Joel's place after I get off work, uh, and then Copeland is gonna pick us up, and then we're gonna drive up and pick up Mike Burke, and then we're gonna hustle buns across the northern tier of Missouri to get over to West Central Illinois. Hopefully, we'll be there in time to grab dinner with everybody on Thursday at Maya there in Pittsfield.
I will
I
see
know.
if I. I'll
Go
see if
ahead.
I can get away in time to catch dinner, but I doubt I will.
It's understandable. It's understandable, especially since it's you're going into a 3-day weekend, and
Oh,
you
what?
got you got to make sure the cows are cowing, and the
Well,
ranch
and
hands are ranch handing, and
that, and I've got a doctor's appointment.
well, there
So
is that.
if
There
I
is
miss my
that.
doctor's appointment because of a rogue 16-year-old, I will not be happy. But that is all I'm going to say about that because I can't say anything nice. We're going to call him Fingers
Oh boy.
because he's not making a hand. I'm done. No more.
Oh, I told this one the other day, but actually I told this one today at work. Um, you know why elephants are so wrinkly?
Why?
Have you ever tried to iron one?
Pretty good one. Pretty good one.
You know how you hide an elephant in a cherry tree?
How?
Paint its toenails red. Okay, let's see here. War Games Atlantic recently announced they are working on some VSF kits. Oh, that's cool. Charles is in a quandary: build and paint tanks or aeroplanes. Prime paint play with minis, ACW cardboard, other cardboard. Organize it all and read another book. Well,
Always airplanes.
yeah, I was about to say airplanes. Start with the airplanes. Uh, Nord says, Chuck, the answer is played in the library of Napoleonic battles and forget the rest. And Nord wants to know if you would say he wasn't handy.
Yeah. There was an incident. Number one, he drove through a soft part of the pasture. He should have known better. He got the truck stuck. I didn't think it was as bad as it was, so I drove a four-wheeler out there and told him I'd get it unstuck. He hopped on the four-wheeler and took off before I could get in the truck. I was unable to get the truck unstuck. 5 unanswered phone calls later, I was no longer a happy camper.
I can imagine.
Anyway,
I can
moving on.
imagine. I'm surprised she's still employed. Let's just say that. That's all I get, Reese. A lousy eh.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
um,
see.
Charles has got 4 Japanese World War II fighters coming in and some more 1/100 scale World War II tanks. Well, it sounds like you do the fighters and then you do the tanks. And in between, while you're letting stuff dry, you push around a little cardboard. Easy peasy. Oh, I'm going to make that big. I'm not really a historicals guy in general, but I'd rather shave my testicles with a rabid badger than play Napoleonics. Oh, oh. Yikes. Mhm. Nord says, just for that, you're not allowed to play on my Lonesome Dove miniatures game, Reese.
Ooh, that stings. That
It does sting
stings.
because we all know that almost undeniably, Lonesome Dove is just about the best miniseries Western out there.
I can't think of a
Just,
better one.
just about. Centennial.
Not a fan.
No, you didn't like Centennial? Well,
No.
it is Colorado.
Yeah.
um.
I'd
Oh
take Lonesome Dove over it.
yeah. Um. Chris Long says, um, Nord, you'd think Reese was Canadian.
There's a difference between an E and an A.
Eh.
I learned that in Spanish class.
There you go.
A, E, O, U.
I was gonna call him Canadian, but I thought that was demeaning to Canadians.
Oh! All right. Low blow.
Telemachus comes in. What did the badger ever do to you?
And I just finished reading Casino Royale, so that's pretty vivid.
Yeah. Nord says Lonesome Dove is the greatest Western ever made. Um, I wouldn't say greatest because there is Tombstone.
Most epic, I would say, and I don't mean that in the Gen X or not Gen X, millennial sense. Um, but like most epic scale miniseries
Yes,
for
I,
sure.
I would. Now, see, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. My favorite Western of all time is Blazing Saddles, but I'm
If it's got Slim
also
Pickens in it, it's probably pretty good.
really, really warped.
You know, morons.
Horse up, guys. We'll head him off at the pass. Head him off at the pass. I hate that cliche. Oh man. Um, Charles says, Scala, I thought the same. The badger bites have not healed yet. Uh, Nord, I do believe that is animal cruelty, Scala. Uh, Nord says, I make a good case with Tombstone, but Lonesome Dove wins out. Ooh, Hondo.
I would put Hondo up there.
Yeah, yep.
It
The
depends on what you
Searchers.
define as Western, too.
Yeah. The Searchers, Major Dundee.
I think if they ever made The Last Reveille into a movie, it's a book by David Morrell.
Yeah.
Um, I think that could potentially pass for Best Western.
Scala says, I was going to say my favorite was Deadwood, but nope. You're right. Blazing Saddles for the win. Another vote for the Searchers. Now, well, my mom would say Lonesome Dove also, for one reason and one reason only. Yes, you're right, dear. Sam Elliott. Um, that being said, she also liked the Sacketts a lot.
Because it's Sam Elliott.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't Tom Selleck in that one?
Yes.
Yeah, she
And
was a
and in Shadow Riders.
yeah, she was a big Tom Selleck fan also. We loved watching Magnum PI. I
No,
still love watching Magnum PI.
nuns don't work on Sundays.
Scala says I have a weird nostalgic appreciation for McClintock.
I like McClintock and I love Big Jake.
Yeah.
Uh,
Warmut says he'll stick to Eastwood movies. The thing with Eastwood movies are though is, and there's nothing wrong with them per se, but they are spaghetti westerns. They are they're
not
pulp westerns.
not all.
No, no, but
Outlaw Josie Wales is up there.
when you think when you say Clint Eastwood movie, Clint Eastern Clint Eastwood westerns, what's the first movie that comes to mind?
For most people, it's probably going to be Good, Bad, and the Ugly,
Exactly.
or one of the Dollars trilogy.
Right. Fistful of dollars, fistful of
A few
and
dollars more, and
yeah.
then there's Fistful of Dynamite, which Clint Eastwood's not in.
What's that?
2 meals for Sister Sarah.
Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
See, I'm a big fan of Outlaw Josie Wales, Hang 'em High, Unforgiven.
Pale Rider.
Oh, that reload
Um,
from Pale Rider.
what's that?
That reload from Pale Rider.
Nord says Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp was good too.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it was a good movie, but I didn't really care for Kevin's portrayal.
Yeah. Mutt says, Reese, look at Chris and spit on the ground like Josie.
I cleaned this floor. Um, Nord's got a good point about open range.
Now, see, I get that one confused with the animated.
Home on the
Uh,
range.
yeah,
Besides two little bits, I think open range is one of the most accurate Western gunfights on film, and has some of the best gunfight sound editing that I've ever heard.
yeah.
When
That that
that first shotgun blast goes off and the whole dynamic changes. Anyway, I'm a gun nut, so that movie's
well,
got.
yeah. Well, and obviously you know this. Most of the time, when you hear gunfire in movies, it is very, excuse me, very pumped up on what it actually sounds like. Because yeah, a 44 Magnum is a loud pistol, but it's still just a pistol. Um, and especially like in today, like modern day TV, cop shows or FBI shows, whatever. Um, you know, 38s and Smith and Wesson 40s and whatnot. They're more of a loud pop, 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 not these huge explosive sounds that we always hear. Um, Nord wants to know if anyone has seen Costner's Western epic Horizon, an American saga.
I intend to see it at some point, but I'm waiting until he completes it, supposedly, because he's only got two parts out, and I want to make sure there's a third part before I go watch it.
There you go.
I do have a buddy that's in it, but I have yet to see it.
Hmm. And then Charles says Sergeant Rutledge, controversial.
That's a pretty good one as well. John Ford, I believe,
Yeah.
and for the
Um,
time, very progressive.
Another good one. I'm not going to necessarily say a good one, but one that always comes to mind. Uh, she wore a yellow ribbon.
I'd say that's a good one.
Oh,
Any of the John Ford Cavalry trilogy, I'm going
yeah.
to be a fan of.
Yep.
Be it Rio Grande, be it She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, be it Fort Apache. Any of those three, I'm there for it.
Nord's got the question of the night. If you had to pick one gun from the Old West to carry, what would you carry?
Before we answer, define the Old West period.
Okay, I'm going to define it as anything from basically just before the Civil War
Okay.
up to 1904, 1905 time frame. Maybe even a little further. When was shit? What's his name?
Pershing,
Yeah, Pershing going into Mexico.
1916.
Oh, that late? I guess you could go. I mean,
Wild Bunch takes place around that time period.
yeah, yeah. I guess you could go that late. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you could go that far. That being said, then 1911.
Which I do. Um, but if you're going to knock it at 1898,
Yeah.
I just picked up a Colt New Service in 45 long Colt that I absolutely adore, and I'll go with that one. Colt New Service 45 long Colt.
Uh, Nord says Lewis and Clark expedition to 1890. So 1805 to 1890. That's an 85-year span. But there's a distinct in uh, contradict me if I am wrong,
Okay.
or correct me if I am wrong. Don't contradict me. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is a real break at about 1860, 1865
I would say
in weapons.
1870.
1870 is the
So
break.
you start getting cartridge guns at the end of the Civil War, and they're good cartridge guns, but they don't catch on with the public until about 1870. You
Okay.
still got people carrying some cartridge guns, but you still have the cap and ball 1860, black powder revolver being the
Yeah.
mainstay. I mean, if I remember correctly, I got to remember when Bill Hickok got shot, but I believe he still had, it wasn't his main gun, but he still had cap and balls in his possession as backup guns when he got shot in Deadwood. So,
So Wild Bill Hickok, you mean?
yes. And I know he was using cap and balls at the start of his career because that's what he shot the guy in Springfield with.
He was only 39 years old when he was killed in August 2nd, 1876.
Okay, my guess would have been 73, but that's yeah. I'm reading that too. I was off by a couple of years.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got some. Let's see. Um. Oh, going back to films real quickly. Uh, love all the Houston Cavalry films. Uh, Chris Long says Telemachus likes the Derringer.
Makes
He
sense.
won't. He won't tell you where he hit it. Chris Long likes the Schofield.
I go with that.
Nord wants to know how Telemachus manages to sit with a Derringer hidden like that. Um, Mutt says the Sisters Brothers was a pretty good movie. Um, Nord Telemachus says, "In my corset." What?
Ormut, The Missing. Yes, phenomenal film. I need to read
Let's
those
see.
books.
Charles says the cut down rifle Steve McQueen used in Wanted Dead or Alive. Mare's Leg.
Yep.
Yeah. The internet says the Old West officially ended in 1912, with the last of the Western territories becoming states. I don't think I agree with that answer, says Scala. Yeah, I mean, you still were dealing with you're still dealing with Pancho Villa. That's you know
Well, and Pancho Villa is really a spillover from the Mexican Revolution.
right.
So
Yeah.
if you go Mexican Revolution marks the end, then let's see.
Doug
That
says
ended
he's
in
got
1920.
yeah. Uh, Doug says my family has an old original 1873 Winchester lever action. There you go.
What's it in, Bunkhouse?
And then Nord says, "Have you seen News of the World?"
Yes, I have. And the ooh, nice. Sorry. Uh,
That's okay.
I have seen News of the World. 3840. That's a slick little cartridge. Um, I'm trying to think. There may be somebody still making black powder loads for that bunkhouse. I need to look and see.
If I was going to go sidearm, I would go with the Colt 1851 Navy revolver.
I'd step it up and go 1860 Army if if we're talking early period. Um,
Yeah.
just because I'm familiar with that weapon pretty intimately, um, and I
Isn't
like the
that
for
isn't that the one you got for
that's the one I traded some cows
Catskills?
for. Um,
Nord has changed his mind. He's decided to go with the Gatling gun.
so bunkhouse, um, you can pick up 3840 loads from Buffalo Arms online. Um, they're probably $1.25, $1.35 a round. I would clean the gun profusely afterwards with just boiling water, and then get it clean. Get it patted dry. You can get a box of 50 cartridges for about $57, which for rifle ammunition today is honestly not terrible. Um, not telling you what to do with your money and not forcing you, but um, just letting you know comparatively that's not too terrible.
Um, Charles says Hidalgo.
Mm, good movie. based on a book written by a guy who claimed it was it was a total fraud. But anyway,
Um, Chris Long says he did a Swift boat today for Brownwater Navy. There you go.
nice. The only problem with the cap and ball Colt is although it shoots as fast as lightning, it loads them mighty slow. Uh,
Yeah.
as Steve Earle famously said. But I would go with either the Schofield as a sidearm, or as I've said earlier, the Colt new service, preferably in 45 long Colt. If I went with Schofield, it'd have to be 45 Schofield, but I'd take that.
Um, Charles says the M79.
That'll wild your west, Charles. That was the wild east.
Right?
uh,
Um, and that's why you carry 4 or 5 of them, Reese.
yeah, I've eventually planned to have a couple more and have a saddle horn holster made for a pair of them, but it's not in the cards anytime soon.
Scout says, I'll take whatever has the widest spread. I can't hit shit with a gun. My brother spent a year on Team Glock as a trick shooter, but I couldn't hit the outside of the barn from the inside.
That makes me think about the kid Mississippi from El Dorado with the old sawed-off shotgun takes out the whole street with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, yeah, any of those old Colts are handy would be handy to have.
they are.
Yeah, Scala, you could get a mini swivel deck gun.
Just get a two-bore.
Yeah.
Best shotgun today? I don't know. It depends on what you define as best. A lot of guys like semi-autos. I personally have my issues with them because of how many different types of ammunition I use basically on a weekly basis. So I run a pump gun. If you're looking for best for the money, you cannot go wrong with the Mossberg Maverick 88, made in America. You get the security model with 20-inch barrel, 8-round tube. For used to be able to get it for under 200. I think it's under 300 now with COVID prices. Um, best of that, um, best of that day. That's running interesting because I like my 1897, which was one of the first pump guns. But if you're going to push it into that early 1900s, I'd have to go Remington Model 11 or Browning Auto 5, which is basically the same gun, and that's from 1900 onward. Nord for Colt 1860, you can, depending on what state you're in, and um, I don't know different regulations in different states. You could order a Colt Army 1860 for under $400 and have it delivered to your door.
Well, there you have it.
So, I'm not giving advice, simply telling you what you're able to do.
Exactly. Right. But check with your
Yeah,
local county and state laws and regulations concerning
absolutely.
the purchase of and ownership of firearms.
Although in the United States, those particularly are uh, not considered firearms under federal law. So that's a different thing entirely. Let's see, muzzleloaders.com right now. They don't always have the best prices, but they've got, um, let's see, 1860 Army for sale.
Chris Long says it's 1,600 Canadian for a repro.
$1,600 Canadian?
Well, keep in mind, they
Oh,
get their money out of a cereal box.
um, mid,
I
let's
kid, I
see.
kid, I
Mid,
kid. It's a
Midway USA right now has one for $400 flat. Um, beautiful, beautiful piece. Um, muzzle-loaders.com has a Pieta 1860, which I would go with over the Uberti for 350. Um, can hardly go wrong with that. You're going to spend a lot more money in caps, powder, and ball than you will on the gun in its lifetime. So,
Chris Long says that most of them come from Italy.
um, if you're going to do it right. So
Yep.
the Navy's going to be a little bit cheaper to shoot because 36 caliber balls and less powder charge. Um, but the Army sure is fun. So anyway, I you tapped into one of my wells of knowledge that I tend to just shovel out. So
Yep.
um,
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, we could have gone another hour if McMurray was here.
oh, I can still go. Yep.
I was just giving you enough time to breathe.
Nord actually have not fired any flintlocks. There's something about that little flame going off right next to my eyeball.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
just
although I am looking at building one eventually, but it's gonna, with some recent developments over here on this front, that's gonna be a little bit. So
so the progression go what was the first lock weapon? Flint
matchlock.
a matchlock? Okay, with the wick coming
So you
down.
have
That's
a
what I
burning
thought.
piece of string and you touch
Yep,
it to your powder, and the
yep.
guy says, "Hey, if we put this spring loaded, we can pull a trigger." So
And then you went to the wheel lock.
yes, which is a flintlock. It's just a different
Yeah,
spring mechanism.
right. Um, and then from the flint lock you went to uh,
Cap lock or percussion.
yeah, percussion.
Because a
Okay.
Scottish minister discovered that you could put fulminated mercury between copper and smash it, and it goes boom. Um,
Leave it to the Scots.
and then I think pinfire came before rimfire, but I'm not sure. I'm
Charles said
yes,
Charles said melt your minis for the lead. No. Just no.
it depends. Um,
Too much tin.
yeah, I wonder what he was doing when he figured that out. There's a there's a lot of
Dude, a lot of things we figured out how to do a lot of things, and I'm surprised we're still alive as a species. Like we when you go if you go with the idea that everything is edible once, and how hungry do you have to be to actually see a lobster and say, "Hey, I want to eat that thing," or a crab. Now I get stuff like goats and cows and whatnot
mhm.
because our ancestors saw lions taking down gazelles. Well, not the lions, the cheetahs taking down the gazelles, and the lions coming in and pushing them out of the way. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
lions aren't the greatest hunters. um, So yeah, it's like, oh hey, long spindly legs that eats grass. Yeah, we can kill those things and eat them. Um, yeah, Warmut. Hey, let's eat a Tide Pod. Everything's edible once.
When I was a kid, in my kindergarten classes used to eat pencils, staples, staplers, erasers. It,
What? Time out. How do you eat a stapler?
kid had teeth.
Apparently, apparently. I've always wondered about the bagpipes. Fucked up Scottish butcher looks down at a sheep's stomach and said, "I can play that." I mean, he's not wrong. Well, he's right next to the other butcher that says, "Hey, I can eat that."
Anyway,
Uh, uh,
I don't remember. That was so long ago. I think he may have gotten held back, but I don't want to speak on it in case, for whatever reason, he sees this and knows who I'm talking about. Because
yeah.
I have not had contact with him in.
Well, who
Too long.
remembers? Yeah, who remembers the Mash episode where Klinger decides to eat a jeep? Somebody put gasoline in my gasoline.
Um, yeah.
Oh
So
gosh.
back to our development of firearms actions. Pinfire came after that and was kind of a dead end development. Then rimfire came off, and then centerfire came off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Radar was just just see him in the background hauling a fucking jeep hood, the windshield.
you think it's crazy.
Oh, it happened.
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
So um, I know guys who mailed weapons home one piece at a time as well, or know of guys, I should say.
Yep.
So
Yep. Oh. Oh man. Oh, excuse me.
but back to what I was saying about Last Reveille is that it's a book written by David Morrell, who wrote Rambo and a few other
Hmm.
things. Um, it's about the Pancho Villa Pershing expedition.
All right.
It's told through the eyes of two characters. One is an aging civilian scout, and the other is a fresh private. And the civilian scout is old enough to have seen the Civil War as a child.
Oh, there you go.
And so it's got his actions, flashbacks to the Indian Wars, flashbacks to Cuba, flashbacks to the Philippines. His role through the West and through the U.S. military, and then the new generation of the young private. So
Oh, Charles says he's decided he's going to read 5 books a month, starting with all of the Honor Harrington books. Those are pretty good books, all in all. Honor Harrington. Nord says I started The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan Chuck.
that's a chunk of a series.
I started a little early this year, but I'm re-listening to Red Storm Rising, my annual listen, because it is such an excellent book. Um, Charles said he finished the first one, 419 pages, in less than 2 days.
Wow.
My grandmother was a voracious reader. Um, I would take her to the library every Friday. Um, this is when I worked at AT&T, and my my schedule was 10 to 6:30 Monday through Sunday through Thursday, and by ten I mean 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. So Friday I would get up about 10:30 in the morning. I would go home, take a little nap, get up about 10:30, head on over to my grandmother's, pick her up, and our first stop was the library, and she would check out 7 to 10 books, and her primary go-to books were Louis L'Amour and Danielle Steele.
Hmm.
So these weren't small books in the slightest. They were all 250, 300 page, books. And she would read all of them in that one week. Like I said, 7 to 10 each time, each week. So she was a very voracious reader. My dad has gotten to be the same way. Reese, I think there are 12 or 13 books in the Wheel of Time series, and each one is like 1,000 pages. That's ridiculous.
And yes, Nord, I have read Riders of the Purple Sage. I'm a somewhat fan of Zane Grey. I have to respect him for what he did and where he was at the time, but he's not my favorite.
Grandmother read some Zane Grey, but like I said, her deal was Louis L'Amour, man.
For those aspiring DMs who happen to find themselves in the Western genre, Louis L'Amour books make great little plots.
Yeah, they do.
So,
Nord says he's considering a complete removal of television in favor of just reading books. I can't get angry at that.
your brain would thank you for it. I need to do the same thing.
Can't get angry at that idea.
I think your mental health might be better off for it too, depending on what TV you're watching.
Definitely, definitely. Um, I'm thinking about what my favorite book series is, and I really enjoy if you enjoy. I don't want to say lighthearted because they're not lighthearted, but they've got humor in them. Uh, but they're all murder mysteries, and they're the Trace Navarre series of books by Rick Riordan. And yes, a big part of it is because it is all centered around San Antonio and South Texas.
But he gets it right.
Well, he was a UTSA English professor,
Hmm.
so I mean, he lived there. So yeah, um, my dad is the one who introduced me to Trace Navarre, and my stepmom, who's from Kansas City, would be reading the books, and she would break out a city map of San Antonio to follow where they were going. So, uh, let's see. Telemachus says, Telemachus says he's read many William Johnstone at work. The best book series is Discworld. This is not debatable.
I'm trying to think of the last series I actually read. It's not coming to me. It's not going to.
Yeah. I have not read any of the Discworld books. Um, Now, for fantasy, just pure fantasy, um, I like David Eddings' The Malorian and the Belgariad. Um, I, in fact, find those to be more enjoyable than The Lord of the Rings, just because I think um, Tolkien he is a great world builder based off of the languages he has created and producing the history of the people that spoke those languages. However, he's not a good writer. Um, I will die on the hill that Stephen or uh, Peter Jackson did the best thing for Lord of the Rings by making them into movies. Uh, Nord says you'll read the Sharp series. That's a good series. I understand. My brother has read those. Robert Jordan is a better Tolkien than Tolkien was. That doesn't take much, to be honest. Tolkien writes with all the passion and sense of of drama that uh, that one would expect from a middle-aged British linguistics professor. Absolutely, absolutely. And I know there's many people out there that think I should turn in my nerd card because even listening to it by audiobook, I had a hard time getting through Fellowship of the Ring. It's just ponderous.
It's a very slow start to the series. I will say that.
Right? Tedious. Um, Mutt says he has his Terry Brooks collection, but when I want to read novels, I find myself leaning towards thrillers and mystery books. Then definitely, definitely find the first book of the series by Rick Riordan is Big Red Tequila. It really is a good book. Check it out, Mutt. Uh, how long did it take you to get to Frodo actually leaving the Shire? Far too long. Uh, Scala says, I've had so many fights over his distaste of Tolkien's writing style. Yeah, I just,
Okay.
like I said, people think I'm sacrilegious and should have my nerd card revoked.
Have you ever read True Grit?
To me, no, I have
Okay.
not.
I need to bring you a copy of that.
Uh,
Sorry.
that's okay. Telemachus says the rooster crows at midnight.
Good to know.
Nord says, sadly never finished Lord of the Rings. I've gotten up about halfway through Return of the King. I'm the same way. I have not finished Return of the King. I I plotted my way through uh, Fellowship. I dragged myself through Two Towers, and I came up well short of completion with the Lord of the Hey, the King's Back, Return of the King. Um,
Totally didn't get stolen by Lucas to be made into Return of the Jedi.
what's that?
The name totally didn't get stolen by Lucas for Return of the Jedi.
No, not at all. Well, keep in mind that Return of the Jedi was originally supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi,
Yes.
but then he realized a Jedi wouldn't look for revenge. So, um, Nord wants to know if you wanted to snack Kim Darby with a baseball bat. First David Eddings book was The Losers. That was a book was a downer. Like I said, I've only read the Malorian and the Belgariad universe books, and those are really good. They're
So
they're they're lightweight. They're easy to get through. They're fun, exciting. I will listen to them about once every 18 months to 2 years.
Nord, I have a complicated history with True Grit. Um, when I first heard of it was when they were casting the 2010 Jeff Bridges True Grit. And the reason that I heard about it was one of my cousins went out for the role of the girl. Thank everything that is holy she did not get it. I would have never heard the end of it. Um, anyway, um, and so I didn't go see the movie, didn't really know much about it. Read the book later on in high school. Absolutely loved the book. Was told by somebody who also loved the book, if you like the book, you need to go see the 2010 Jeff Bridges version. So I did. I'm also a big John Wayne fan, so I went and saw the John Wayne version and couldn't stand it. I loved John Wayne as John Wayne. I do not like John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn.
There you go.
That is my complicated relationship with True Grit because I went about it kind of backwards. But yes, I'm not a fan of Kim Darby. Not really a fan of Glenn Campbell as LaBeef. I thought that Robert Duvall as Lucky Ned was a good casting. Um, but that was about it. Call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
Charles says Alistair McLean.
Um, Barry Pepper was a better Lucky Ned. Um, Casting for 2010 was about spot on. I heard a lot of flack about the dialogue and how clunky it was and people not using contractions and things like that, but that's how people spoke then, and that's how the book is written, and that dialogue is anyway. Yeah, that the Conqueror was a cursed movie for a bunch of different reasons. Mostly because most of them got cancer due to nuclear waste, but also because he cast John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
Anyway, that
about
movie was
that.
cursed as all get out.
Yep, yep. Um, so bouncing back to damn it, why am I? Oh, Slim Pickens.
Okay.
My favorite movie that he is in is Doctor Strangelove. That is such a great movie. Peter Sellers playing the three parts, amazing. Um, there's no fighting in the war room. I think probably what might be the most amazing thing to note about that movie is they didn't tell George C. Scott that it was a dark comedy.
which makes it just about perfect.
Yeah, he played it. He played it straight, and that and so bouncing from that movie to another great Peter Sellers movie, The Mouse That Roared. That is such a good movie, also. Um, okay, chat question from Nord. If you could pick one Western role from any movie, TV show, or miniseries as the perfect role for you to play, which would you pick? That's a good one.
That is a
I don't
good one.
know.
Not a traditional Western. If they were to redo all the pretty horses like it should have originally been done, I would take the role of um, oh, not John Grady Cole, the other one. Hang on, Lacey Rollins.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, Charles. I would play the pretty horse,
So,
or at least the horse's ass. Donna thinks I'd be perfect for that.
for those that have not read Cormac McCarthy's All the Pretty Horses, it is worth the read.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't know for myself.
Most
Um,
roles require being outside for a long period of time.
which I'm okay with,
Yeah.
but I don't know. One of the soldiers at the Battle of San Jacinto at the end of the Alamo from the early 2000s.
There you go.
I don't know. I would say the Alamo, but they all died.
Yeah, see, I was going to say John Grady Cole, but he just makes a bunch of really stupid decisions, and that doesn't fit me. Um, and Lacey Rollins being the voice of reason that still goes down to Mexico with him, I'd be okay with that. So,
Bar patron number three doesn't require having to be outside. Might have to fall through a table if you get shot, or or have a chair broken over your back,
yeah.
or get thrown across the bar into the wall of glasses backed by the mirror. Eh, I'm more of a sci-fi guy when it comes to that type of stuff, though. That's why I sit with my back to the wall. No one's getting me from behind. Agreed, Nord. Would you put that away? Put that on the charger, please. And thank you. I gotta go get my battery serviced on my Apple Watch, which means going to the Apple Store, handing them my current Apple Watch and $99, and then giving me a replacement. because the batteries are not designed to be replaced on the fly by anybody, including Apple. It can be done, but it's a pain in the ass, to be perfectly honest. Matt Warmuth says Buster Scruggs.
Not with the way he meets his end.
Yeah. How about Briscoe County Jr.? Dusty Bottoms. Um, Hold on. Wait a second. I'm drawing a blank. Damn it. Oh, perfect. A perfect one for me. Malcolm Reynolds.
Technically a Western.
Yep.
Alvarez Kelly really is a fantastic movie, Charles.
El Guapo. It's a sweater. I do have to say that as good as the Three Amigos are, Blazing Saddles is still better. I will die on that hill. Uh, what is it? Paint Your Wagon. There's a Clint Eastwood movie for you.
No,
What do you mean no?
not a fan.
Come on, that's got all the greats in it.
Yes, having all the greats in it does not a good movie make.
I mean,
That being said, Ocean's
it's
11 is a fantastic film.
it's got Lee Marvin,
Mhm.
Clint Eastwood, Ray Walston. I mean, come on. H.B. Haggerty. Oh, another great western. Cat Ballou. The horse should have won an Oscar.
There's a. Have you ever played Bang, the card game?
I have seen it played once.
Okay, I may need to bring it. Maybe not. We'll see. Um, but it's got a card in it that is Cat Baloo. So,
That's such a good movie. It really is. It's so much fun.
so when I come up for Halloween weekend, are y'all doing anything that weekend?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll be at the Angus convention most of the time, but I'm sure we can figure out a time to get together.
Oh, sure. They've got a convention for guys named Angus.
No, it's the National Association of Angus Breeders.
Knob.
Anyway,
Oh,
uh,
that's NAAB. That's funny. Knob.
yeah, that's not the name of it, but I've got the acronym
I
wrong.
know. I know.
Um,
Oh, come on, guys. Settle down. Shush.
but I'll be up there.
Sniff. Shush. What's that? I'm sorry.
I'll be up there representing our sport. So
Quiet.
Yeah, the thing locks in 30 minutes,
Oh,
so we wouldn't have been able to get out.
Let's see. Chuck, should I buy another library of Napoleonic battle games? I have an odd number of them with seven. I hate not odd numbers. Well, see, the thing is, though, seven is a good odd number, being that it's seven. But you could also sell one or give one away, and then you'd have six, so you wouldn't have an odd number. But isn't eight lucky in Japan, or is eight unlucky in Japan?
Any well, any number can be lucky if you make it lucky.
Well, there you go. Mom always liked the number 13. She was not triskaidectophobic at all. It's ironic that her luck it, the she died on the day of her lucky number. It's like, hey, 13 is my lucky number. May 13th. Puh. Oh well.
Nord, check your Discord direct messages. I just sent you a link to what you were asking about earlier. So
There you go. Well, not with that attitude, Nord. Okay, Scala says 8 is lucky in Taoism. There you go. There you have it. So, oh, this getting up early business is kicking me square in the butt.
bet.
Because I have to be at work now at the same time that I used to leave my house to get to work. And
Well,
now I'm leaving for work the same time I used to wake up.
I after this weekend, I will have one of the shortest commutes that I've ever had.
Would you basically walk outside, cross the back fence, and you're there.
Basically, I mean, I gotta get off my driveway onto the county road, turn left on the county road, turn right on the state highway, go 50 yards, and turn left. I could ride a horse to work. And matter of fact, I might. So
Hey, if you got a place to keep him or her, as
yeah,
the case may or may not be.
we've got a barn and 7 acres attached. So
Well, there you go.
it's currently being leased to one guy, but he's using my water, and we negotiated water rights where I can turn one horse out with his horses, and he can use my water. So
There you go, man. That's Scala. I am digging my new job. It is kicking me square in the ass right now. Um, so you know that graph where as you're learning things, it kind of does that roller coaster type thing where you're feeling good, you're learning, you get to a peak and you go back down and you feel like you're not learning, you're not able to do anything right before you hit bottom and you start climbing back up again. Yeah, I'm in that free fall right now where I feel like I'm screwing everything up, but I'm loving it. Yeah, if traffic is bad, it takes Scala as much as 10 whole minutes to get to and from work. Yeah, tonight there was a big backup on I-470 in or no, actually just south of US 40 uh, between Lee Summit and Independence, and it was backed up all the way to where 470 turns north. Um, it took us an hour and a half basically to get home. Um, Nord wants to know, you've never fired a flintlock, but have you fired a Springfield percussion capped rifled musket?
Something very similar, not that exact model. Um,
Hey, Ningwai, how you doing, buddy?
I hunt with a percussion rifle on occasion. So
Um, I am doing well. Reese seems to be doing well. The
I'm
dogs
all
are doing well.
I'm all in one piece. I'm not ranting. I'm not firing anybody. I'd say it's a pretty good day.
And dry. Yeah, I'm dry. A lot of water, but yep. So now I have fired a muzzle loader. I think it was a 54 caliber. Um, it was a it was it was a percussion cap fired.
Mm.
Um, fired it um, out at Philmont. I have no idea what it was. I just know that it was a 54 caliber muzzle loaded uh, um, weapon. I don't even know if it was a rifle or not. Um,
Yeah, I hunt with a Hawken occasionally. Shoot about a 150 grain charge in a 50 caliber ball. So, and it does kick like a mule.
Everybody run outside.
yep.
Potty.
Skellis says you used to commute about 2.5 hours if there wasn't a wreck. So nowadays,
Hey.
working 8 blocks from home is pure awesome. Yes, it is. Yeah. Nord says I've done a few ACW reenactments with the 69th PA back in the 90s, and the Springfield kicks like a damn mule. Dogs, go outside. Go on. Go. All of you. Go. Fiends. Um, yeah, like I said, Nord, whatever the BSA has out in Philmont, Bruno, go out. Go. Outside. Ugh, the joy of living with 6 dogs, and 3 of them are puppies. I say puppies. They're all under 6 months old. Oh, man. So, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night, guys. I appreciate y'all all hanging out with me. Nord, Nguyen, Scala, Charles, Jeffy, Bruno. You're supposed to be going outside. Um, Doug, um, Warmutt, Chris Long, and the rest here on Gilligan's Isle. Um,
We're
oh
about
yeah,
halfway to a 3 hour tour. You can keep going.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Actually, that'll be a good question for next week. Ginger or Marianne? Nord says he's going to go read some of his book. So, all right, guys. Nagoya, you do you, buddy. Happy for you. All right. Um, should be same bat time, same bat place next week. Um, I'll drop a note in the normal places if anything changes. So again, everybody, thanks for showing up. Uh, I appreciate it. Y'all are truly the greatest. Until next time, we will see you on the flip side.